articles. I've got over 160 articles. Each one of them more insane than the last. We told you Europe was designed to implode and then continue the consolidation. Well, now it's in mainstream news that the next great European financial crisis has begun. But don't worry, the NSA is not in trouble for illegal spying. The Cardinals are being investigated for hacking into Astro's database. That's right, because people only care about sports, so they'll give you a government that goes after scandals in soccer and in baseball and in football. What a joke. While meanwhile, 90+% of technocrats say, we're sorry the decision's been made to kill you. Don't let your children have iPads. It's there to brain damage them. I'm Steve Jobs, and I approve this message. So they feel okay about what they're doing. It's all being announced on mainstream news that, oh, your iPhone's going to watch you, your Droid's going to watch you, and if you're in trouble, it's going to call the police. But don't worry, it's just some artificially intelligent tech that knows when there's a problem. Oh, the new car is coming out. They're going to have sensors if a human's in it and it gets too hot, and it's going to call the cops. There won't be any kids overheating and dying in the car anymore. Oh, the cameras on the highways, computers are monitoring those and will flag suspicious activity. This has already been going on for years, but now it's rolling out. And then when your 11-year-old's playing in the backyard at 5 o'clock, the police will come and take them away from you and put them in foster care, saying it's neglect. You see, this nanny state is run by the globalist and is evil. That's why it's so bad. And we're paying for it, and they didn't ask us. They just put the Trojan horse tech in everything. And this just hit me again this morning, how hardcore this is. I have trouble even talking, realizing that the elite have made the decision to do this. In fact, put that back on screen if you can. National news last week, 11-year-old boy played in his yard. CPS took him, felony charges for parents. See, it was worse than my memory had. They didn't just take the child, they charged the parents with felonies. That's in Florida. And I just go back to that because it illustrates everything we're talking about. This is a hellhole for everybody. And ahead of the machine takeover, the chemicals, the biologicals are in the food and water, with powdered eggs and bread and other processed foods having 300 to 700 plus parts per million of hydrofluorosilicic acid in powder form. That's strong enough to kill roaches. I'm going to say that again. Hundreds of food items at the grocery store have fluoride in them strong enough to kill roaches. I'm going to say that again. Hundreds of food items at the store have fluoride strong enough in it to kill roaches. I'm going to say that again. Hundreds of food items at the store have fluoride in them strong enough to poison insects to death. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm warning you, we're under total attack. Before I get into that news and into the economic news and into the latest Vatican news and into the TPP news and the treason there, let me just give you this article. This is out of the London Telegraph. How sexually confusing moths could save your clothes from holes. See, they tell you changing the sex of the sexual persuasion of insects, that's how they kill fire ants and many other things, is a good thing. And they sell the idea. Let me explain something. This is what's been deployed against us in the globalist own words. And then as it becomes super common for females to feel like males and males to feel like females because of the chemicals that have been publicly deployed against us, they then advertise it as if it's a cultural change and a right and a wondrous thing. Just like breast cancer going up 2,000 plus, 3,000 plus % depending on which Western country in the last 50 years is made into a big thing of let's give money when we buy things and when we get a drink or when we go for a jog in a marathon or a 10K and give money to find the cure. No, let's find why it's exploding. I've said it hundreds of times. If people were getting shot in record numbers, you'd find out who was shooting them. You wouldn't try to find a cure for gunshot wounds. But see, they make it a process. Everybody's got autism now. Be part of the community. But never find out why it's up from 1 in 30,000 to 1 in 56. In South Korea, 1 in 25. They're the record level vacciners. Soon it'll be 1 in 10, 1 in 5. They're saying by 2030, 1 in 3 won't be able to talk. It'll be part of the community. No one asked why. You're not against the autistic children, are you? So even mentioning that someone did it to them is, oh, you're against them. Oh, hey, they're putting chemicals in the water to make men be attracted to men. They do it to insects, too. Here's the document. Shut up, you're against gay people. No, I'm saying it's being purposely done on record. We're going to come back and break it down. It's chemical warfare. Does that mean that it hasn't always happened throughout history? Naturally, yes. The numbers are way up, though. Artificially being done. And now the electric eye is watching everybody. And now it's becoming sentient. The beast that talks. The great machine worshipped worldwide that all can see. The holograms projected into your living rooms that are about to be rolled out in the next few years. You know, James Cameron got led into all this stuff about 25 years ago by the globalist, and he's got these big quasi-secret laboratories in Los Angeles where they're planning the future of TV and movies, where you go in and around you is a 360 movie with holograms. And they're preparing for the massive rollout of these in the near future. But Cameron got so freaked out by it that he basically abandoned a lot of it and left the United States to New Zealand. And at the time I talked about that, and then now, of course, it's been admitted. You see, the stuff's so horrible that these billionaires are being told about that they're really freaking out and having serious conscience problems. I would, too. I mean, I freak out every day knowing about all this and just sitting here watching it all unfold. It's pointless for us to fight with each other over race, over where we're from, or to fight with the police who are just brainwashed like the rest of the public. We're all victims of this thing. And I don't want to be a victim. I want to control our destiny. I want to build a better world for humans. Not a world where we're spiked, where we're thrown on the ash heap of history, where the decision has been made that we're obsolete. Can you guys go online to the Twilight Zone? I actually own it back there on DVD. And find The Obsolete Man. I know it's on YouTube. And it's the opening scene where Serling's talking about it's a new tyranny, but really it's the old tyranny. I want to play a few minutes of that. God, it's so horrible. It's so horrible. And I just sit up here calmly talking about it every day. I mean, it's just so insane, so premeditated. And the globalists have all written books how they're doing it to us, and that's what they've told me. And their millions have told me, Alex, we write it all down. The public doesn't care. See, they deserve it. Join us. Join you in poisoning the public so you can sit back and say you're the elite when a bunch of brain-damaged people watch ESPN and Bruce Jenner and just buy into all your bull, and you just put stuff in our food and water like you do moths so we don't ever have families or kids. And they know we'll evolve towards the way they direct us in their words. Well, they've got us devolving. A species that doesn't procreate's done. How do you take out fruit flies, fire ants, moth infestations? #1 university in the world researching it, Texas A&M, with their secret bioweapons development center. Why do you think that place is so important and it gets all these top generals running it? And they've got their public rollouts. It's all about sterilizing insects. And these same systems have been deployed against us. And it's not a joke, people. It's just the intro to The Obsolete Man. We actually have it on DVD back there in Dude's office, but they've moved stuff around. How sexually confusing moths could shave your clothes from holes. See, it's a friendly article introducing it. Sexually confusing moths might not seem the obvious solution to protecting your cashmere, but it could be the most effective way to prevent insects from destroying clothes. Moths have become increasingly difficult, just add humans. Humans have become increasingly difficult to control since a ban on pesticides, Hitler, which were blamed for the decline of bees. So you don't want an all-out kill. You don't want a Hitler or a commie move, fascist or commie move. It's too obvious. But keepers at the National History Museum in London have come up with the ingenious solution. Yeah, they came up with it. After suffering a 4-year human infestation, add the word moth, which is threatening the fur and feathers of some of its most prized exhibits. Now they're using a system which tricks male moths into thinking that other male moths are actually females in a bid to stop them mating and producing eggs and larvae. And it does not involve killing any moths, merely confusing males into fruitlessly chasing members of their own sex and overwhelming their senses so they can no longer smell the females. It's called the pheromone destruction system, and in simplistic terms, it makes male moths attracted to other male moths, said Armando Mendex, quarantine facility manager at the museum, who is heading the project. They only live for a couple of weeks, and during that time, there's only a small window in which they can reproduce. Then they just spray a little bit of it out, and it's bye-bye. They just add it to the plastic linings, and it's bye-bye genitalia. Male genitalia across the board are shrinking in the West. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter what genetic background. The sperm counts are down almost 90%. The genitals are shrinking. And in the brain, through the hypothalamus, through the other glands, being picked up by the olfactory nerve to program it, men are emitting female pheromones. And we're confused, flapping and running into walls and falling down. And the globalists are sitting back. And that's when I cover this, they put their whole White House operation into overdrive with hundreds of articles saying it's crazy, it's insane, he makes it up. Don't look, don't go there. No, don't. Look. You feel like you want men? You want to wear a dress? You feel like a girl? Women, you feel like a boy? Because you hyper-feminize women, they then basically, it gets into complex hormones, but basically the women are being turned into males, the men are being turned into females. And again, if you look at what bovine growth hormone breaks down to into women, it makes them more aggressive, taller. It makes men, on average, more squat and basically brain damaged. And it's not helping the women either. I mean, if you like brain tumors and you like breast cancer when you're 20 years old, baby, it's for you. That's the good part. It doesn't just confuse your sexuality. It mutates you, and it screws up your entire endocrine system and your hormonal system. So knock yourselves out. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me when I made films in 1997, saying they were going to start making prisoners take microchips. How did I know? Because big think tank said they were going to put out a whole body modification movement. This is in think tank documents we covered at the time. It's in the films, the actual documents. Again, the universities, how they would make us bisexual, then asexual, and just remove sexuality altogether, until what's left of us just wears gray uniforms and have shaved heads. You're like, wait, I've heard of that before. THX 1138. Yes, George Lucas throwing it in your face. Maybe he's good. Maybe he's bad. I don't know. That's the future, if you're allowed to live. What's wrong? Take some more pills. Medicate yourself. They've got little 3D Buddhas you worship in your little stall. Where'd my mate go? Where'd my partner go? She's been sent for reclamation. Calm down. Calm down. Need a pill? I laugh because it tears my heart out. New York State Senator proposing using GPS implants to track violent convicts. And it's going to start. It's going to happen. And the churches are going to roll over. and say, the Christ says, take the chip. It's of the Lord.